I mean, it's disappointing that this is all happening under a Conservative party in Britain. I mean, just like in Australia, the Conservatives here have really lost their way. I mean, they're not even in power anywhere except for Tasmania. But they're still in power in Britain, but are they even Conservative, Laurence?
Not particularly, no. I mean, they've started to make a few noises as they have tumbled down the polls towards a historic defeat at the next general election, which looks like it'll be next May. So they've started to face on immigration and inflation and the economy. But ultimately, I think the problem is that the further towards the front benches you get in the Conservative Party in the UK, the more woke and Labour and socialist and collectivist they are. So, you know, there's some good MPs, but they tend to be backbenchers. And I think that within the Conservative Party is going to have quite a big identity crisis soon. It's very much, Conservatives and Labour is not a cigarette paper between them, really.
Yeah, it's the same here. I noticed that the Conservatives there adopted Tony Abbott's famous line, "Stop the boats," coming across the channel, but they've kind of modified it in the past couple of days. They're actually filling the boats and keeping illegal immigrants on barges in the Thames or something. What's that about?
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to appease the mob in England because, you know, the refugees welcome mob, who tend to go refugees welcome, also tend to be the ones that are on benefits themselves. So the people that actually foot the bill for this are, you know, you'll get a vast swathe of migrants coming into the UK, economic migrants mainly, which we do need because our demography is so bad. But these guys are being put directly next door to, you know, communities, very old British communities, and the social cohesion problems are huge. So, yeah, I think they're just trying to make it unattractive for them to come here. And whatever your views on immigration, I don't think we should incentivise people with a free health service and benefits to come to the UK, because otherwise, why didn't you stay in the 10 countries you crossed to get here in the first place?
Yeah, well, for a long time, they were just putting them up in hotels as well, weren't they?
400 hotels, yeah, were totally fully booked with migrants, and, you know, all the stuff that comes with that, different cultural norms. It's worrying.
Well, it's, you know, worrying is the least. I mean, there's no option anymore in Australia and seemingly in Britain for you know, political choices to conserve our history and our values and our culture. In Australia, we've got parties like One Nation and the United Australia Party and the Lib Dems, but none of them have a film star as their leader, mate. How's the Reclaim Party going, which you lead?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we essentially, I try and sort of morph it away from politics, because I think what we've got here is a massive cultural problem, and I don't think there's a political solution to a cultural problem. So I'm trying to draw not back from politics, but to try and use more of a cultural approach, you know, via stuff that we're doing in terms of the Bad Law Project over critical race theory and all of the stuff that's being taught in schools. And we're doing something called Bad Education. And I'm trying to work with sound politicians, because having hung out with politicians now for the last 3 years, they are worse than movie business people. They literally are worse. I mean, and that's saying a lot, having worked in show business for 20 years, the vainest bunch of self-involved beeps ever.